StreamYard is working today. It's a good thing. It's a Friday. It's a good Friday. Not Good Friday, but it's a good Friday. And it's sunny, little brisk here in Atlanta. But hey, it's always a nice time for Friday afternoon because we get to talk about small businesses and break it down. That's why we call it the Small Biz Breakdown. Aren't we clever? Anyway, here usually Leland. Leland, hey, how's it going?
Going good. Good morning.
And it is morning where you are.
Like, it is.
Yeah,
so. I should say good afternoon to you.
And in snowy Cleveland, even a Taylor.
Snowy Cleveland, yes. It was a November is finally hit us, and it's awesome.
It was fun watching the game last night, although I hear some people did not think the game was all that fun.
Yeah, those of us who are Pittsburgh transplants into the Cleveland area, it was not fun for us. Maybe we'll do better next time.
That's the spirit. But now, Ramon Ray joins us.
What's up, team? Good to be here.
It's good that you're here because last week we saw you in the comment section. Like, why? Where is he? He's just commenting.
I was in Houston at the Child Daycare Millionaire Summit.
Child and Daycare Millionaire Summit.
That sounds interesting.
That is really interesting. But maybe we'll talk about that at some other point in time. But as for today, there's a lot of stuff as usual. But I always like to kind of start with a little trivia. I don't know if it's trivia. Maybe it will be trivia. But my first question is, with the holidays coming up, how many of you guys are traveling for the holidays?
Not me.
Well, not for Thanksgiving, but for Christmas.
For Thanksgiving. Okay. No. Leland, staying home?
No. Family's all in this area, so I don't have to leave.
I think I want to make sure I get this right because I do have a stat from AAA. It has a number of people traveling this. I want to make sure it's not holiday season or just Thanksgiving. No, this is just Thanksgiving. Okay, cool. So there's a pretty significant number in the tens of millions. Would you each try to guess how many people AAA is saying will be traveling this Thanksgiving?
47 million.
All right, 47. He came in strong. No hesitation.
No hesitation. I'm going with 32.
30.
55.
32, 40. Should I ask why you guys are coming up with these numbers, or is it just
you said tens of millions?
So.
You gave us a hint.
I wanted to give you a hint.
I forgot the amount of people in the USA. I forgot it's 400 million. I don't know the number, but I just said, let's assume half are not traveling. And I just made a reasonable number. That was my thought process, my guess. Based on
I like it. I like it. Always creative.
So even is that along the lines of your thought process too, or?
No, the universe spoke to me and said 32 million.
The universe. Leland, did the universe speak to you as well, or?
My brain just came up with a random number.
Okay, so we got universe speaking, randomness, and Ramon lengthy. All right.
Calculations and quantitative calculations.
The answer is, according to AAA, that is 71.7 million people are expected to drive 50 miles or more. And this is just driving. It said drive. So that's not even including the airlines. So that would have been really, if I had told you that, you probably would have really guessed, I don't know, less. But anyway, 71.7. That's a pretty significant number.
Ramon is the closest without going over. You go to the spin the wheel.
No. Leland hit 55 million, didn't
Leland is at 55. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, Leland is the one.
Leland is the winner.
I'm looking at that 50 mile mark and I'm like, that's the I would put that more like at 150 miles. I mean, 50 miles is that's the other side of town. Yeah, that's less than an hour drive. I mean, come on.
Well, depending on Atlanta, 50 miles it could be like 2 hours drive. And New York too, and So anyway, take it up with AAA. Don't blame me. I'm just the guy here. Anyway, yeah. So I thought that would be a nice little way to start things off. And I also, because this one is ripped from the headlines, from Small Biz Trends. Pop this one up. I thought this was really interesting. So once again, Joshua coming through. Is that just yesterday? It's yesterday, 21st. I can't remember what day it is.
Yeah.
75% of micro business owners relaunch after setbacks. That's coming from GoDaddy. And then it gives you the top 10 states by micro businesses. Are you surprised that it like Delaware? Well, I guess Delaware is the incorporation capital of the world, of the country, at least. But are you surprised at any of the stats here that you're seeing? And also the 75% of micro business owners, I guess they might have failed in a business before, but they relaunched. 75% of those folks who failed relaunched. Are you surprised at the resilience of small business folks?
No,
not at all.
Some of us have no choice. I think it depends on who it is. I think that's one thing. I think it's an interesting demographic. You know, some like myself, I probably would not get a job before I did try to start my business again. So it depends on who it is too. But that's my.
Do they say what relaunch means? So, for example, I'm actually thinking about Ramon.
Yep.
Is it a relaunch? Let's say, obvious. I can see if you like sell a property like you did, and then you sort of start something new. That sounds like a relaunch, right? What else would you guys consider to be a relaunch?
I would kind of wonder how many of these are MLM people.
Ooh,
they get into an MLM. They are their own business. I mean, they're technically a business. They have to, make their own business license. The MLM fails, and then they move on to the next one as a relaunch.
Man, those are some good questions. I don't think they actually say it in the article. I think it's mostly based on failure, and because they mentioned resiliency. So I'm guessing it's more about you had a business, maybe it failed. I don't know. And then either you relaunch or you do some new business.
I have a business that fails something on a weekly basis.
Yeah, for that matter, I'm with you. Even my business has failed 6 times this week. So, hey,
Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a specific data point and ask you guys about this. All right. So I want to make sure I get this right. I want to go with this one. I think I like this one better. All right. 34% of micro businesses begin as a side project, with more than 70% leveraging an online business presence. So micro business starts as a kind of a side hustle and grows, and 34% of them grow into a significant business stream. Now, at the county level, each micro business creates an average of blank jobs.
40% of the jobs.
Well, actually, it's an actual number, not a percentage, an actual number of jobs they create.
I'm confused by that.
Per year, per month, per week.
So
So each micro business creates X amount of jobs in the county it presents.
I see.
Resides in.
Two jobs.
Okay, 2. Anybody else? 2?
probably somewhere very low because it's a micro business.
It's a micro business.
Like 20 or something like that.
I kind of don't get it, right? To me, micro business is, I was going to ask what that is. It sounds like it would be like a solopreneur or like whatever. The jobs they create
Very
a lot of times,
business.
right? They're outsourcing.
But if they when a job or an employee creates a job and that person goes to lunch and eats at a lunch Subway or something, and they might buy supplies and they need to buy supplies locally. So it's like that kind of thing. How many jobs does that create?
17.
So you're saying how many?
17.
I know it's like the number. You're right, Ramon. I'm at a 30-something%, because it's almost like every time you spend money with a local business, like 30-some% of that money stays inside the community and does exactly what Brent was saying. They go buy lunch, they go to the store, they're supporting that local community. I don't know what the answer is. I'm going to say, I don't know, 9. I have no idea.
I'll stick with my 20.
So yeah, 17, 9, and 20. Now remember, this is at the county level.
Yeah, don't know.
I just want to make.
Okay.
No, don't know. That is the answer, people. I do not know.
Okay, so the answer, according to this survey from GoDaddy, is 7.
Wow.
7.
Up significantly from 2 in 2020.
Well, that's why I said 2, but I thought you meant 2020's number. If you just said the more recent number, I was 7. Obviously, y'all didn't know that. It's obvious.
Okay. Well, you did say 2 before you said 17 or after.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So are you surprised at the number? Is it lower than you were expecting, or I mean,
No, about right.
I don't know. I think it's higher. I just kind of don't get that. Like, I would love to know what question they asked to get that number.
Great point.
well, I think a micro
It wasn't. I
business,
don't know.
a micro business, if I'm not mistaken, it's like a mistaken. I think it's less than 10 people employed. And it might actually be even less than that, but it's I mean, if we're not talking small, we're talking micro, so it's very small businesses, like probably like us. We're all very micro
That's
businesses.
what I'm saying. I just don't see, I did a survey a while back for DIY marketers, and I asked the questions. It was a similar question, which was about how many like team members in your organization, right? Because I didn't want to just talk about employees. I wanted to talk about like team members. And I just don't believe it. I haven't even said anything about this number because I quite don't really believe it. Like e-commerce people who were in an e-commerce business, I wish John were here, were saying they had like 11 employees. And I'm like, what is that? Is that like, like what Small Biz Trends was doing? Like, right? Not employees, but like team members. Does it take that many to run an e-commerce business?
Well, since you wish that he was here, guess what?
Oh,
We make all our wishes come true here. Here he is, the cold one, the bold one,
So, John.
John Ice Lawson.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
And I just wanted, and even I
I'm
just want to add one
connected to
thing.
the
Don't
universe
forget,
today.
don't forget, and John will know better than this, but better than me on this. But don't forget SEO, graphics. If it's in, if there's any shipping. So our friend Elaine Fodel's book, right? The $1 Million One Person Business, things like that. There can be a number of people
surprising.
at e-commerce. But John, what's up, man?
What's up?
By the way, let's also say good evening to Richmond Cabina. I don't know. I hope I'm not butchering your name there, but good evening, Richmond.
Hey, Richmond. Good to have you here.
Good to have you.
Hey,
So
go
just
ahead,
looked
Neil.
I just looked it up. It's a micro business is a business that's less than 10 people and generates less than $250,000 in revenue a year. So
Interesting.
I would love to see the business that could have 10 or 9 employees and make $250,000 a year.
That's a terrible business. Wow.
I'm not sure it means that particular business, or if in general that business helps to employ 7 people just in the local county, like somebody working at the subway or somebody working at. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think it means their business specifically.
And it could be part-time contractors. It's like I could
That's
have
what
like
I'm saying.
9 people to where I spend a couple $100 here, 1,000 here, or something like that.
So there you go. So Leland, you just explained how you are making 7 people very happy, and even if they're not directly employed by Small Biz Trends.
Yeah, but I do think, Brent, they should give more clarity to the whole thing. I mean, freelancer versus not freelancer, offshore versus inshore, all these things are quantifying. That's why, but anyways, I just think it's
man, you need to take this up with GoDaddy, okay? Because they're the one that came out with the damn survey. I don't know why you're coming to me at this stuff, but anyway, I like this. I think a couple of good questions like this gets our show off to a nice little start. Anyway, let's move on. There's other things to talk about here. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, do I want to do this one now?
What's up, Freddie Taylor? Glad you're here, man.
Freddie, did you like the way I had to put him in his place? I just had to do it. I'm sorry.
Freddie's amazing.
I like Freddie, although I have no idea who Freddie is. All right, so let's go to this because I think this might be one of interest here. All right, this one actually was brought to my attention by Mr. Colder Ice, so I'm going to let him kind of run with this one. Google stops letting sites like Forbes rules search for best CBD gummies.
Well, interesting. They pulled that, but basically, Google just released a new update, and whatever it was that these guys at Forbes. And it was Forbes Council to be
Yeah.
clear.
Not the Forbes broader, but Forbes
Right.
the pay for play Forbes. Let's put it like this.
Right. And in actuality, a third party company bought that
That's right.
name, and then they started, creating a lot of content out of India. And I'll just tell you, that's where it's coming from. Because if you go and look at, Forbes Council, a lot of the positions they were hiring were out of India. So it was kind of interesting to see that. So basically, they just started optimizing content based on the Forbes name and getting a lot of search engine ranking for things like dog food, or how to train your dog, and evidently the best CBD gummies. And they were ranking number 1 in many of these categories. And they just got the smackdown, which is so cool.
And I think they are already were feeling the change of the algorithm for that, right? I mean, I saw, didn't you post something, or a buddy of yours posted something about doing a search on Forbes, and
they couldn't, they put in Forbes Council,
yeah,
and it wouldn't even show up in Google search for its own self. The only thing that you would find was their Facebook page or their LinkedIn page. So they have been de-Googlified.
Leland, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yes, Leland.
Well, I haven't gotten the benefits of that yet, but it takes, from what I've been told, 2 weeks for a Google algorithm to go fully all the way through, and then it takes about a week after that, because sometimes Google will reverse some of the changes a little bit. That's all hearsay, and people looking at statistics and results and stuff like that. So take that with a grain of salt. But I would be very interested in seeing if that is the case, and hopefully whatever partnership, backdoor dealings or whatever, or maybe, black hat optimization that Forbes did really did take. But I'd also love to see it also kind of dethrone Reddit, and I still see a lot of Reddit on Google. So that's the one that kind of ticks me off a little bit more so than Forbes. Forbes is one thing, but the Reddit is annoying, especially when they say, we want authority, expertise, experience, and the random Reddit user apparently has all that.
Or Quora.
Yeah, or Quora.
That too. I agree.
Just because I know many of you are asking about it, if you Google and look at now best CBD gummies, it's now cornbread hemp. So they are now the top.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Way to go.
And that makes more sense, right? I mean, I guess they specialize in that. I don't know. But it sounds like they're more likely to be a source of information than a Forbes thing is.
Yeah, it was Forbes Advisor. That's what it was.
Yeah, Forbes Advisor. Yeah.
But I kind of want to jump in on something that John mentioned. I think it was last week that you said, John, that you now have Perplexity as your default search engine. And I actually saw, and would highly recommend that anyone else go out and see Andy Crestodina from Orbit Media out in Chicago. He is, if not one of the top content marketing authorities, especially when it comes to search. And he did a wonderful webinar about a week or so ago, maybe just this past week, where he did a comparison contrast of AI search and Google search. So I just want to share this little tidbit that was like, basically he said AI search is predictive, right? Generative, pre-trained, transformer. It's predictive versus Google search, which is algorithmic, right? It's contextual. So to give you an example, I don't know that I have not had this experience just yet, but Andy said that he has had this experience. So if you were to search on best CBD gummies, Google's going to give you any permutation of that, right? It could be near me, it could be whatever. It's contextual. Versus if you had best CBD gummies, what are the best CBD gummies? Give me a list of CBD gummies, like an AI search. It's because it's predictive, it tweaks your results will be slightly different. And so his whole webinar was on what is it that businesses have to do in order to be found in both places, because they're just like different contexts of search. So I don't know if anybody, John, I don't know what your experience has been using Perplexity as your default.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's what's going to end up happening. I think, because you're at this point now where Perplexity is going to have competitors, right? And you're going to have Google as a competitor, Perplexity, and probably Search GPT. All right now, the big three, right? What's going to happen with Perplexity, which Google already has, is they're going to have to figure out how to turn this into a site where they can make money from advertisement first, and also where if I'm looking for best CBD gummies, how is it going to rank related products for that?
But John, do you think that that's sustainable, John? Do you think that, meaning in the long term, has there been a small startup that's dethroned any of the big ones in a long time? Like, you don't think Perplexity in 6 months or a year is going to go away, get bought or something? Or do you think they have a chance to be a leading FANG, Facebook, Netflix, Amazon, Google, you know what I mean? Or like DuckDuck, they're doing ads, but how many use DuckDuckGo or Bing? Second point, I heard that but maybe I'm wrong though, because even owning 1% of search is billions or whatever. So, but I'm curious what you think on that. So I don't know.
Look, bro, it is Perplexity would be Pee Wee football and Google is the NFL.
Yeah.
We can talk about search, we can talk about football, but if I go to a Pee Wee game versus an NFL game, it's a whole different world. Same ball, different world. And it's the same way with this guy here. You know, it's we could talk about these guys. It's fun, but they're doing 100 million. These other guys are doing 3 billion. Searches a day. You know what I mean? So it's not even on the same playing field.
Yeah, but getting back, I think somebody mentioned the chance of acquisition for some of these. Yeah, it's gonna somebody's getting bought next year. Let's face it. Less regulation is coming to town. I think Adobe Figma would have gone through if it wasn't for if it was going to happen after 2025 as opposed to during this current presidential administration. Where regulation is definitely much more on the forefront. They're going to get rid of a lot of regulation. So you're going to see all sorts of big companies buying these kind of Perplexities because nothing stands in their way. Like there was something standing in their way previously. Yeah, you could book it because we know that's just the way it rolls. These companies traditionally get created so that they can eventually sell to the highest bidder. What's going to hold Perplexity back from somebody who has big, deep pockets? Could be a Google, could be a Microsoft, could be an Amazon.
Intuit.
Well, Amazon, because I think Jeff Bezos is a pretty big investor in the Perplexity, if I'm not mistaken. So you can book it. Something's going to happen. Maybe OpenAI goes public because their valuation is so high at this point. Perplexity is not at that level yet. I'm calling it right here. You heard it here first, people.
You think? Oh, that's interesting. So you think that well, yeah, they will. I'm not even going to
OpenAI is going public.
I know they're going public.
Yeah.
I was like, do you think they're going to beat Perplexity at going public? But now that I think about it, they're already
Perplexity is going to get bought by somebody. That's what I'm sure.
I'm sure. I can't wait.
By the way, let's say hello to Lisa Sicard.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Yeah,
Lisa's a Bizapalooza DIY marketers person. Hey, Lisa.
Oh, that's why I was thinking. She got the double hand wave from Evening.
I saw that, Brent. I saw that.
That's some love right there.
Well, let's do that. Hey, Brent, let's you and I. No, because you don't know Freddie. John, you and I should do a double hand wave to Freddie Taylor. Hey, right. Freddie. Hi, Freddie. Hi, Freddie.
There you go.
That's our buddy.
All right, Leland, do you feel any left out like I do? I have nobody to wave at, but that's all right.
No one loves us.
I don't like people.
No.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, she said everyone. Now I can. Hi, Lisa. There you go.
Throw him a bone, Lisa.
I'll take a bone. There's usually a little meat on the bones. Anyway. All right. So, all right, this next one is going to be interesting, I think, because I don't know how many of you are already on, or yeah, are you on Bluesky? It is okay. All right.
I've been on
Been to the
Blue
site,
Sky
I know
since
what it
it
is, but I'm not
started.
on it. Yeah.
How
Me
long?
too.
So even and John have been. How long is that?
I don't know. I don't even
2019
remember.
or
Was it
something.
that?
Like it's been a while.
It
I
has
got
been a while.
on, but then like I was on the waiting list. Then I got on, and then it took me. I was on again, off again. But I am in it now. Like I'm getting notifications, and I turn all my notifications off. But I am getting
Sure.
notifications.
I went to sign up yesterday and it was like, that name is taken. It was like,
Wait a minute. I thought you
oh,
said you
it's
already
me.
signed up. Oh, okay.
No, it's like, oh, it's me. I've already got one.
Oh, there you go.
So, you know, I remember back in the day, though, for real, every new social media platform that would pop up,
You would just
I would go in there
sit
and
on it
grab
with your
all
name.
the rice. Yeah.
And
Good
John,
thing
and
I
even
did.
do you all use Blue Sky like regularly, just as much as you use X or some other platform, or it's just you just got it because you're tech geeks?
Hold
I'm just
on. Wait a
curious.
minute. You're jumping way too far ahead here,
Oh.
Ramon.
So-
That was just a setup. Damn it. Okay. No. So no, this is coming up a lot because just this week across 20 million users, I think in one day it got 1 million signups, and apparently this is kind of coinciding with what's going on with X, which is like a max exodus. That's kind of hard to say.
Get it? Exodus.
Yeah,
I see what you did there.
No, I'm sorry, Brent. Just to be clear,
purposely.
I don't know if there's a mass exodus from X. I think there's a mass exodus
definitely-
for
There is a
certain
mass
people.
exodus.
Okay,
There's
I'm
definitely
wrong.
a mass exodus.
But you know what?
It has been, Ramon.
Yeah.
I can tell because I run the chat.
Okay.
My chat went from reaching something like my reach was 2 million a week. I am now down to like 400,000, and Bizapalooza chat is still one of the only and longest running chats there are right now. Like it's like nothing. We used to get like 50 people a week, and now I'm down to like maybe 5.
They said, this is just the reports after the election. Apparently, there's a mass exodus that really picked up after the election.
There's already an exodus.
Yeah, there was
It's been going on for years.
And I think I read somewhere that 98% of the advertisers have gone. Like,
wow.
they're down to like bare bones. So that's why all of a sudden I started hearing people talking about this Blue Sky thing. And matter of fact, let's see, I think my buddy Alan Burtson said he got his a year ago. But I just started noticing a lot more people asking me if I was on Blue Sky. So I went and got my name, thank goodness. I guess that was last week or something like that. But I'm seeing people that I actually do know on there and communicating. People that I hadn't really seen on X lately.
Yes.
Now, point of truth, I don't really show up on X a lot except for the streaming stuff. But I'm just curious. It seems like there's a full head of steam. They were saying, they were trying to compare it to Threads. Now, Threads has been around for what, a year and a half or so, 2 years.
But Threads is seeing a growth as well.
Yeah. So part of the exodus from X is going to Threads. I think they're up to 275 million users or something like that. And this thing, but Blue Sky seems to have something it feels different for some reason. What about
they say it's like people are saying that it's like Twitter when it first started. And it might be, that I was on Twitter when it first started, and there was something magical there, just people talking to people about everyday things and really building relationships. But I would also say that just give it time before the marketers come in and kill it.
Well, even aren't you like a marketer?
I am. It's like we piss in our own pot on a daily basis. I'm sorry, but it's like these social media platforms were designed to build relationships. And when I first got on Twitter, I remember like Guy Kawasaki was one of the first people. He had like 200-300 followers at the time. And I remember he was like, our kids were the same age. So we were like chatting it up on Twitter, like almost like it was a text message.
Did
And
you
he
know him
was like,
before that, or did you meet him through that?
I knew him before that because I had like reviewed some of his books, but like I felt like there was this more of this digital relationship happening. And there were like a lot of early adopters. Some were small business owners, local business. There was a woman who had a business. She was in Los Angeles selling to like celebrities, like Suri Cruz used to buy her like little shoes and dresses there when she was like 3 or whatever. And I remember it was like Thanksgiving was this time of year, and she was through Twitter taking us through her like Thanksgiving baking thing. You know, it was just very community oriented. I don't know how to say that. And I don't know that things will ever be quite that way again, right? This was back in 2007, 2008, something like that. I think we're all like way more social media savvy. I'm curious to see what other people think about this. Threads was like that. Oh, this is so great, right? Because there's no marketers. There's no one, because there's no one saying like when Threads came, I kid you not, who remembers this? When everybody went to Threads, it took about 24 hours for someone to post a Threads course. Like, I'm a Threads expert. I'm like, really? Really?
I think we might even know some of those folks.
I think the best community
Yeah.
for me even still is Clubhouse. That's just for me.
You still
It's
love
small.
Clubhouse. That's
Nobody's there.
There's so many.
The friends I've met there, I can mention their name. There's only 20 of us in the morning. And I don't even jump on all the time. It's just on Friday for my show. But I pop in like early in the morning if I want live human connection. It's not for the amount of people. These are the 50 people who are chatting that I'm doing something and I can hear. So that's for me what it is,
Yeah, Alan, just hold off on the Bluesky course. Just
Man, you better get it out there right now, bro. Go for it.
I can see Colder Rice already starting to plot.
I'm writing one right
He's
now with ChatGPT.
right now. You're right, though, Ramon. Oh, I just want to talk about, and I think that's what's different. Well, I don't know if this is different or not, but there has definitely been a shift. Somebody will probably disagree with me, but
I disagree.
There's been a shift from quantity to quality. I know that in my social media engagement and as I go through time, I remember being focused on the quantity of followers, but now I just like really don't care about that. I'm really much more concerned about the quality and do I have relationships and am I engaging with these people? How about you guys?
Can I ask one more question, Brent?
Go ahead.
I don't want to dominate. Yeah, thank you. I just want to know, do you think that, I don't want to get this too far there, but even I'll just turn to you since you're chiming in here on this. Do you think it's all about politics? I just signed up for Bluesky. Yay, first account. And it's amazing. The first 4 posts I have is January 6th, meaning, terrible, or immigrants didn't do this. It's all slanted progressive. That's just the first 4 posts. That's just all I saw. So I'm saying, do you think that's what it is? As Twitter may be more because of Elon, conservative, evil, whatever y'all want to call him, whatever the political word for the day is for him. That's what the first thing I saw on Bluesky. So I don't need to go down that too far, but that's the first post I saw. So maybe we're just divided politically. X is for one type, Bluesky's for another type. I don't know.
Or is it using the social graph that you have and putting out things that they think you will? Well, no, that wouldn't work for you.
Well, in Bluesky's case, they don't know me. I just signed up. So, but it was just ironic. That's the first thing I saw.
Email address, and I'm sure they're
fair enough.
Doing something.
You know what, Ramon? I wonder if I don't know if anybody knows. I wonder if they have a geographic thing. I don't know what it did for me. I signed up for a long time ago. So like now my recommendations are just like people.
But either way, it's ironic. Those flooding and leaving Twitter en masse are most likely also those who are not that politically slanted.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure
let me just jump in here.
John, why don't you jump in? I want you to say something, John.
No, because I want you to think about this. And it's really not about politics necessarily. Okay. I think it is about the way people view their environment more so. I think politics is a part of that.
Lagging indicator or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say it's lagging, but it is part of that. I think when Elon took over Twitter, it wasn't really just about his politics, but it was about the way he was governing the platform. And as he's gone deeper and deeper in his political journey, it has changed the way he has governed the platform. And I think that has some repercussions on how people are leaving.
Right.
And the conversation right now, just in general, has been very politically charged. And I think that has something to do with it. Plus,
guess,
there's
John,
rumors. There's rumors that, that there's a possibility that X and Truth Social will be merging. So I think people are fleeing that ship as well.
What's up, Dr. Will? And all I'm trying to say, John, I guess, and then we can move on from this. I guess it's just when you hear people say, and speaking metaphorically, and then we can shift it, but it's just everybody's leaving America or everybody hates this politician. It all depends on which room you're in and cloud you're in. That's all I'm trying to say, is that it seems easy to say everybody's this. And I know the stats speak for itself on X. That's a fact. But I'm just careful that way. I'm in a room. Everybody said the pizza tastes good. Oh, you don't like pepperoni or you can't eat it. That's why you're not having it. So I'm careful of that. So
I think social media, social media has allowed us all to live in our own bubbles.
Yes.
And pick the bubble we want to live in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I pick a bubble where people who don't like pepperoni don't exist, because that's.
Come on, I agree.
Really?
Pineapple on pizza.
I'm in the pineapple on pizza.
I'm pepperoni all the way.
Hey,
Pepperoni.
Brent, Dr. Will has put something in the chat. Can you please put him on the screen and acknowledge him, please, Brent? Thank you.
Damn, man, he just put it there. I saw
up,
it.
Dr.
I was
Will?
going to do it. All right, boom. Who is that for,
gosh.
Dr. Will? Please
That's
let us
for
know
me,
that.
obviously.
I'm moving to Doom.
Oh my God.
Utah. Okay, you hang out there with Mitten the boys. All right. So with all that said, I want to go back to you, Ramon, because you mentioned Clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly never got why that was important or it took off the way it did. But apparently it was one of those kind of, everybody gravitated towards it for a while, and then I guess most people didn't. What was at its height? What were the kind of audiences you were getting on there?
You know, Brent, I'll answer it a different way if I may. I remember during COVID being at the cafe when I was lonely, alone, couldn't travel. I think I see the nods. We're all human, and not everybody is like this, but most of us. I wanted to hear people. And this was a live platform, and I met new friends. My friend TM Hyman, I'll shout him out. He came to a community that me and John are part of. So Stars Tina, met her on Clubhouse. These are real people who we've done business and life together. So it's not the platform with gazillions and I'm making money. But again, that's just for me why I did it. I didn't want to be alone, and this was the platform. I remember that's why I got my iPad. I never owned an Apple product until I was like, man, I can't join this thing. And I bought an iPad through Amazon. So hope I answered the question, but it was the only place, real live, real-time connectivity. You could unmute, chime in, and talk to somebody. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, that's great, but you definitely did not answer my question. But that's okay. I get it. I understand.
What type of people? Then it was the freelancers, side hustlers, aspirational entrepreneurs, speaking the language of our world. It the lady who's 60 years old, retired, the guy who, hey, I'm walking dogs and I'm trying to test out Amway, and secretly I work at night at a Pepsi Cola recycling. And then people like Ramon, a mixture of people.
But you still continue to do it because of the kind of people that you.
Yes, because in the one room I'm in, I'll just shout it out. Breakfast with the Champions. Glenn Lundy, as some of us may know the name, is no longer the leader. He gave it to me. I gave it to somebody else. I'm no longer the leader. But still, we have 6 to 7 hours of programming Monday through Saturday. And again, I'll just repeat that early in the morning time when I have a few minutes and I want some live stuff, just to say, hey, everybody, I'm here. Hey, Ramon, what's up? It gives me that from 50 to 70 to 100, give or take, people every day.
I mean, that there's value in that. And I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying if we're looking at the mass aggregate kind of level, things like Clubhouse shot up because some of the folks, the internet marketer kind of folks, kind of gravitated towards it because they were trying to. And I remember seeing people, the Clubhouse influencers in the Clubhouse, how to get 1 million people on your. I mean, it's just human damn nature, unfortunately. Yes. Maybe it's marketing human damn nature. I don't know. But how do we figure out when a social network is for real enough for us as small business people to put our effort into being a part of it, growing it, and communicating, collaborating? How do we figure it out?
That I think is like the big issue, because I mean, Threads was going to be the thing that killed Twitter. It didn't kill Twitter or X. And then I don't know if you guys remember Mastodon.
Oh yeah, I got an account.
I got like 20 accounts. There's 20 different mastodons because you can make your own mastodon.
Yeah.
That's specialized in one little area. And I was like, okay, I'll go and market because I had an SEO guy. It's like, get your links out as much as possible on social media. I'm like, okay. And Mastodon was a good vehicle to do that in. But
for a minute, right?
Yeah. And I kind of wonder if people it's shiny again, Bluesky is, but then they realize, oh, the influencers aren't there, that my algorithm has not been figured out, and it's maybe pushing a lot of more left-winging stuff, and I don't really want to hear about the January 6th. I just, want to see, connect with people and see funny things. But I remember that X was good. It wasn't the best, but it still had my algorithm. It still, it was still showing me the funny animals pictures that I want. And I wonder if it's like people will go to Bluesky and then they'll go, well, the news worn off. I'll go back to X.
I think a lot of people are going to test the waters, and if it sticks, they'll stay. But we don't live in a world where you have to be one or the other.
Yeah,
I can actually do both now.
Yeah, but we live in a world where our time is a very unique and important resource, and it's one that we can't afford to just blow on spreading it across a whole bunch of places where 90% of those folks might not be worth it.
Yeah.
Well, there's, there was a comment that you put up there, Brent. You go to where your customers are. And I like to say it this way, right? It's got to be like a Venn diagram. And wherein, the two circles are one, I love being there. I love creating content for this platform. It's natural, it's easy, it's effortless. On my worst day, I can engage on this platform, right? And then the other one is my customers are on this platform. You see what I mean? And then if you can find a platform where, and you can see, like I see LinkedIn kind of going there, right? Because, you've got the business part of it, and then you've got people sharing more personal things on LinkedIn rather than they do on Facebook. And Ramon, I can see even, part of Clubhouse having that element, right? You are a voice person. And you love talking and you love listening and you're a voice person.
That's a good point, even. That could be what attracted me to it. Continue. Go ahead.
No, yeah, absolutely. And so that totally makes sense to you because you love that. You can repeat that behavior. For example, like I don't do a lot of videos. So YouTube and TikTok, not for me. So, but you never know. I got to give a shout out to our friend Steve Strauss. I ran into his TikTok feed. It showed up on my For You page. And this man is knocking small business TikTok out of the water. It is so authentic. It is so fun to listen to. He tells stories about small business owners, and he is attracting that client base. I didn't know Steve was like such a natural video storyteller, but that's the beauty of some of these new platforms coming out. Whenever a new platform comes out, I notice certain businesses coming to light, like they get their little spotlight.
And I must say, go ahead, Brenton.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that I just scrolled again while we're just chatting here, just scroll Bluesky a bit more. And I do think as well, I think another thing is that for me, when you talk about business, I agree. That's a whole nother conversation, all these platforms, but just speaking on a personal level, I'll go back to X and Twitter, whatever it is. There are some particular people, I like seeing their frequent post, whatever aligns with me or not. So I've been scrolling on Bluesky, and it just, without knowing who I am, it's a lot of one thing. So I just wanted to add that and enforce that. And my quick, only 10-minute summary, Bluesky clearly is a, from what I can see, without being the filter, is a certain ilk. Brent, please.
All right. So as we say these
Thank
things,
you, John Lawson.
And as we're talking, just to be, on the up and up here, we do have 57 people watching on the everything other than LinkedIn, because we, for whatever StreamYard does not let you know who's watching on LinkedIn. 54 of those folks are watching from X. Just
Very cool.
Are you sending it to Bluesky?
I don't think you can send it to Bluesky yet.
It's going to my LinkedIn and my Facebook.
But I want to, yeah, but we just can't get the stats on those, unfortunately. But for some reason, you can get them on X. Anyway, I wanted to go back to what Alan said here. You need to know where your customers are. I think that's half of it. Yeah, you need to know where your customers are, but you need to know why your customers are there. Some of them just don't want to be spammed or marketed to on these networks. And people just can't help that, because we want, and I'm saying we in the aggregate as business folks, we need customers to, give us money for the stuff that we do. I mean, right? So it's more important for us than it is for them that we try to communicate with them on these things. Some of them just don't. I remember having this conversation with the bold one years ago when we were talking about Facebook, and I think it was Facebook and Amazon for some reason. Like Facebook was starting to sell stuff on the Facebook platform. They weren't doing all that great a job of it, and more people were still gonna buy stuff on Amazon. But because there's that origin story. Like when people signed up for Facebook, they wanted to be connected with friends and family and shares. They didn't want to be sold to. They didn't want to be marketed to. That was not the crux of why they joined that network. Whereas with Amazon, people are going there to shop. They're going there to spend. That is why they're going there. They're not going there to make friends and influence people. They're going there to buy stuff. And most of the kind of the paradox for most of these social networks is businesses latch on because they see people there and they see how active they are. Most businesses are terrible of trying to understand and navigate how do we show up in a way that makes sense for our customers, not for us. And I think that's the thing that has never been solved. I don't know how you solve it. I'm not gonna be the one that comes down from the mountain.
Wait. What do you mean you don't think businesses ever solved that?
I don't think they've solved it to the likeliness that I would like it as a customer. I don't want to see advertising messages thrown in my face. You know what really irritates me? But hold on. Let me just get this out and I'll let you have the floor.
Okay, cool. I
like going to like the sports websites to see clips of stuff, like, moments of the game. It could be like a 10-second clip. And in order for me to watch that 10-second clip, I got to watch 30 seconds worth of ads. At least on traditional TV, the ratio between content and ads was way better than what we're getting now. Because I just want to see this 5-second clip. I got to sit through.
Where do you go to see the 5-second clip?
I'm going to the web, like ESPN was one place.
So that's what I was going to say. All right, go ahead.
So I'm just saying, it's not like I want to see that damn 30-second ad. I just want to see the 5-second clip. To put up with to get to that, I have to put up with nonsense. And that's the way it feels like most of the social networks. And I'm not saying, putting a blame on anyway. I just think it's the way human nature is. Companies find out where their customers are, and they're trying to find a way to communicate them where they are. And they just don't do it great. They don't do the best job. They make us irritated. I don't know how you solve that. John, if you have something to throw into that, please let us know, because this is the biggest bugaboo I have.
Well, I was just going to say it's not that companies have not figured out how to do this. Some companies do it very well. YouTube, I think, does it very well. I think Facebook does it pretty well.
I hate how YouTube throws ads in. I'm sorry.
You might hate ads just in general.
No, the way that I'll be watching a video and out of nowhere an ad comes out. It's like there's no, at least with the TV shows, there's a little, we're going to a commercial.
Right.
There's
but I mean
that
but that ad you can skip in 5 seconds.
I pay for the premium, so I don't even get the ads anymore.
All right. Well, so I'm saying that most people that don't pay for premium know that they're going to get 5 seconds worth of ads. And they're going to skip that ad. The problem with these other copycat places like ESPN, they're like, oh, we could do that too, but they don't have the technology to allow that ad to be skipped and still make money. So now you're forced to watch a 30-second ad.
You know why that is?
Clip.
that's because they only focused on their need first, not on the customers first. Just like Alan was saying. That's all I'm saying. If more companies, because I think you are right. There are some that actually do a pretty good job at that, but there are just so many more that do a terrible job because they're only worried about their need, not necessarily about the customer. So when they go on these social networks and they see their customers are on there, it's a ham-handed way of trying to get to them. And it just irritates me. I know I'm not alone in this.
But I think most customers do understand that in order to have a free platform full of free content for you to, dispose of at your will, you're going to have
Hey, when Facebook started out, that wasn't the play. The play was, hey, we just want a place for people to stay connected with friends and family and all that, and college students.
But how would they monetize it, Brent? How would they monetize it ever, Brent? I started out speaking for free.
Figure out a good way that doesn't piss everybody off. That's all I'm saying.
Pay for it. You have the paywall. Pay $99 a month for Facebook or $295 a month.
When has that been offered? I haven't seen that been offered.
No, I'm saying.
Look at the football game yesterday. This makes me so angry that they are putting football games on Amazon. Now that we're going to be on Netflix. I pay for Amazon. I pay for no ad content. But I can't watch that football game without having ads popping up all over the place. So I feel like, to Brent's point, it's like they're abusing that thing. So what? They're going to put the football game on Netflix? You think it's going to be ad-free for the money we're paying?
How are they abusing it? Even you and Brent are really making me very upset now. Stop.
No. Here's the thing. Go for it. I pay, here's how I look at it. I pay a membership fee, and there's a legal, the trade is I give you X amount of dollars. I actually pay the higher fee for Netflix so that I don't get ads, or for Amazon that I don't get ads. I pay that. Yeah. And part of that understanding of that offer is you pay this extra.
Yes.
So that, and we won't throw ads at you because you've already given us money. Right?
Thank you, Freddie.
I pay for that. That's a feature.
What's the problem?
That's a feature. Well, my problem is that when you take that same platform and then you hijack it, so you put content on that platform, right? And then you feed me ads every minute.
But you mean through the one that you paid for to not have it? Or
yes.
The one correct. But you mean because they redid the contract? They redid the contract and said, now we're changing the tier. I remember that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So, but they redid the contract. So God bless America. Now you can say, don't
understand, Ramon. Understand, Ramon. I'm paying the top. I have no idea what's going to happen on Netflix. I just assume that when the game comes on, for the higher fee that I'm paying for Netflix, they're going to feed me ads.
They changed the contract, though. Even legally, they have enough lawyers, so assume it was done right. Brandy's shining.
But they didn't give me the option to say. They didn't give me the option to say opt. You know what I mean? Okay, great. Give us some more money, and we'll take the ad. All I'm saying is, I feel that it is aside from the fact that local people, like my in-laws, they don't have Wi-Fi. They don't have that kind of streaming service. They live in the Pittsburgh area. They cannot see their game. I feel like there's something not nice about that. I'm all for making money, Ramon. Don't get me wrong.
By the way, let me just break in just a second to say hello to Brandy.
Brandy's amazing.
Somebody that Ramon knows.
And John.
And Serge, thank you for joining us. Real conversation.
Serge's a friend of me too.
Absolutely. Exactly. Let me say this to you, Ramon. You were talking about how they keep changing the policy. Why do they keep changing the policy?
Monetization, money, stock market.
Yeah, and that changes the game on the customer, doesn't it?
Correct. But what I'm saying is this is a fair marketplace. If Amazon fails, that's their problem.
But why do they constantly move the goalposts on the customer? If they were really
because they're moving up in content, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you. So for Netflix to take somebody's 2-year-old documentary and throw it into their mix, it doesn't cost them a lot of money.
Right.
But to get a live game that only gets played once, and the NFL already is making great money on ABC. To win that contract, they're going to have more money. And where are they going to get more money from?
Hey, look,
they're going to either raise your prices or they're going to put
I'm not really
commercials
talking
in.
about the Netflix thing because I've been a Netflix customer for years. I know you pay for that. I know every year you get an increase.
Yep.
That's not the same as the social network. Netflix is not a social network.
It's the same thing as a social network, Brent.
It's not the people,
you and Even are really y'all. What are y'all talking?
Wait a minute.
Well,
do I go to Facebook to watch stuff, or do I go to Netflix to watch stuff?
No, the
So what are
principle,
you paying
Brent.
for
I
on
go to-
Facebook? You're
I
I go
saying
to Facebook to watch stuff. With
I-
little
you're-
reels.
If
and
I had to
videos.
pay for it, I wouldn't be going to Facebook to
so,
watch.
but you're saying that you don't like
Just
the
saying.
fact that they have more commercials on Facebook.
I don't like the fact, me personally, I don't like the fact that when they started out and they were this way and then they
Mhm.
continue to move that way and that way,
Mhm.
that's fine.
Right.
But they're doing that because they need to do it, not because their customers need to do it or their customers even want them to do
Right, of course, yes.
it. That's all I'm saying.
And by the way, Sergey, Bluesky is perfect for you.
Let me just make
Let
something
me-
extremely
let me-
clear. Let me make something extremely clear because you're using a really incorrect word, Brent.
What's that? What's the word?
You are not a customer of Facebook. You don't pay them a damn.
That's
I'm
correct.
paying with my data. Are
No.
you kidding me?
You don't pay them
No,
a
Brent.
dime.
No,
Brett,
Brent,
are you
stop.
kidding
No.
me?
I'm with you
No.
guys. If it's free, you are
wait a
the
minute,
product.
you're with who? Even you're with who? Me and John, or are you this guy up here?
Clearly, I'm a woman of my own opinion. If it's free, if it is free,
I
right?
like that.
You
I
are
like
the
that.
product. You got to take whatever
Yeah.
they're dishing and do
Thank
it.
you.
That's how it is. If it is free, that's what it is. But let's say there are, and like Amazon has this, and I think Netflix has this too, like, and so does YouTube probably, right? There are probably tiers, right? Like, let's say, for example,
That's right.
like, there could be tiers of pricing, right? You could have a tier that, let's say, has commercials or where you can see ads or like whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it, right? And you might pay, let's say you pay $5.99 a month for that.
And
$5.
Amazon has that. Amazon has that. Netflix has
That's
that.
what I'm saying. And then you can pay a higher tier, a higher amount of money
No commercials.
for no commercials.
You saying they have that now?
But
No
okay,
commercials?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's
Absolutely.
that's right. I opted not to pay. It's a free country. I didn't pay that version.
Exactly. And I opted to pay that because that's where I'm the premium flyer.
Well,
Right.
excuse me. Yeah.
Right.
But
So I opted to pay that. And to me, it feels like a sort of, I don't know. I feel
Bait and
like,
switch. It's a bait and switch.
I'm saying as
It
a
is.
customer, it feels not nice.
But to Evena's point, and maybe I'm sure that's in the fine print, the Amazon Prime Thursday night football games, even though I pay for no ads, you see ads doing those things.
You see
that's
ads
that's
during
the
those
live
things.
TV stuff. I guess maybe that's
Yeah.
their
It's a different
distinction.
contract.
Oh,
Very
it's a
different
live
contract.
TV. And if they have that live TV, that's different. If they have a live TV feature,
Mhm.
right? I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that because that's live TV and live TV has commercials. And I expected to see commercials because it's a football game because that's how that works. I'm just saying, maybe to Brent's point, the idea of if you have a contract, if you are charging people something and that offer is what it is, right? And maybe you have tiered offers. I think I'm an advocate for like sticking with your tier. If you do want to make more money and you do want to have a premium of something, raise the price, make a new offer.
Right.
Right?
But I think we're saying the same thing, even, but you're not saying they broke a contract or anything legal because all that, I'm sure, was buttoned up very
I'm just
nicely.
saying, Ramon, like in the world of HR, they have something called a psychological contract. Okay. And like back in the 50s, right? The psychological contract was that you go to work for a company, right?
I understand what you're saying.
They
Yeah.
pay you a livable wage.
Yep.
And you give them your life, right?
I
You
got
get
it.
overtime, double time, triple, blah, 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 right? That's how my father-in-law worked. He worked very hard. He was a Bell telephone lineman, worked very hard. It was that particular life. And he worked there for like 50 some years. Okay.
Yeah.
By the time I went to work, that psychological contract was starting to break.
I understand.
We need to make more profits. We need to do whatever. And so we're going to just start laying off people so that we can make the profit. So that said to me, like, oh, you work hard, you did this, but you may or may not have a job. I get it.
Even can I just tell you something? Even?
Yeah,
I will pay $1,000 a year or $500, some premium when they bring back Jack Bauer 24, like the 20-part series. I'll pay for that.
It's coming back.
I don't know if it's rumor or not. Lincoln Lawyer, give me that.
I love
Arnold
Lincoln Lawyer.
Ford, I mean, the Rockies,
Tulsa King.
and the mayor of Kingston. Bring me all those back. No commercials. I will pay a premium. Seems like Brandy would too. Welcome, Brandy. I will pay a premium for that.
Yes.
Leave me alone. Let me play. Oh, and then Jason Bourne.
Yes.
I will tell you right
That
now.
is not a TV show.
No,
Don't
I know.
Dumb it down.
But my point, no, not TV show. My point being, I will pay the premium to
Yes.
bring back a Jason Bourne series every 6 months. I will, one
Every
2 hour
6 months.
show every 6 months a year. I will pay a premium for that. I love Jason Bourne. That's my guy.
I love it. Ramon, I am so with you. We can sit down and watch together because we like the same shows.
And you can be on Blue Sky. I can be on X, and we can just let.
And I'm on X too. I'm everywhere. I run a chat on X, right?
What's up,
I'm
Odell?
on-
What's up, Kim?
Yeah, apparently.
You know, but
get
I'm
to
just
mark
saying,
with
let's
that
think
one.
about, I think what Brent is talking about is this psychological contract, right? In terms
Absolutely.
between the customer and the business.
No, Brent's not
Alright.
saying that. Brent's just, I think,
I
spoiled or
absolutely
something.
no. I'm absolutely saying that they don't have at the forefront the customer need or what the customer wants to do or how they want to do it. That's not at the forefront of all these moves. You got to be honest about that. They're
Correct,
trying to
I
make
agree.
money. They're trying to make money, which I get. But I think there's a way that they could do it without being so not taking the customer's real wants and needs into consideration a little bit higher. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you. I'm with all of you guys. I think there's a truth in all of this
Let me just
discussion.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you what the customer wants. The customer wants free stuff forever.
Yes.
Well,
I don't think that's
not true.
Look, it is true.
No,
they may
not-
want it.
it
They
is
may
true.
want it,
John
but they
with
know
that.
they're not
Let
going
me
to get it.
look. I'm going to tell you. Out of all you guys, I deal with customers.
Okay.
We
I
all
know
deal
what
with
the
customers.
customer
It's just a
The
different kind of
customer
customer.
wants
That's all.
free shipping. They
Oh.
want, they want free. If it can be free, that's what they want.
Brent,
That's
Blame
assumed,
Amazon
but
on that one. Blame Amazon on
I'll
that.
blame Amazon.
If that were the case, John, we would
What?
all stop buying lots and lots of things, right? That we know do not have to be as expensive as they are.
Yeah,
right?
Well, you're not going to pay for any social media.
Hey, Brent, can I do a commercial for each one of us, please? May I do that? Since we're talking about advertising, may I just give a commercial for each one of us, please?
You better make it short, man.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, John Lawson, Colder Ice, foremost AI expert, foremost e-commerce expert. Look him up, John Lawson, Colder Ice. Even a Taylor, DIY marketers, OG marketers for small business owners, how to market on the low cost, on a budget, on the cheap, as it were. But even a Taylor knows all things marketing for small business. Leland McFarland knows all things small business. Leading smallbiztrends.com, smallbiztrends.com. Check it out. He's the man and his team powering that system. My friend, longtime friend, Brent Leary, foremost analyst, expert on social selling, e-commerce, AI, the future, where technology is going. All the big brands turn to Brent Leary to get his insight. Brent Leary, back to you.
No, so you got to do one for yourself after all that.
Yeah.
Nobody can do it like you.
Ramon Ray, publisher of ZonerGenius.com, lover of all things small business. Back to you, Brent.
I like this. John said something there. If it's free, I've said that before too. Not on this show, of course, but I usually do that. But you know what?
Look at him.
You know what? It's all about the value.
He can't even let none of the spotlight shine. Don't let it shine.
I gave it up to you. I said it. You did say it here, whatever. But you know what? It's more for me. It's about value. If I feel like I'm getting a good deal, a good value, I'm cool with it. It doesn't have to be free. It just has to be valuable to me in some way, form, or shape, whether it's $1 or it's some good content, whether there's this great experience. I value that. And I think most customers, if you present it to them in that way, they will roll with you. I still think most companies do not present it in that way. That's my problem.
They haven't figured it out.
Let me ask you this. If Facebook were to come out with a plan where it's like you could, for $5, no ads, no suggestions, we're just going to feed you the stuff that you like and the stuff that your friends are posting, do you think people would actually even use Facebook after that? Because it would strip down so much of the content.
That's right.
Yeah.
That people would then spend less time on Facebook because there's less content, less stuff to go through. And then they would go, is this really worth $5?
Oh, you mean if you charge everybody, like to use Facebook with no ads, everybody has to. Oh, I see what you mean.
I'd be out so quick.
But Leland, you know people would pay for? Because school, SKOOL, and we can do that later, Brent, if you want next show. But I think many of us would pay a fee to be sure all of our content showed up with all of our followers. Something like that, I would pay for. I got 10,000 followers on Facebook. When I hit a button, why do only X% of people see that? So I would pay a fee to have a broader reach to my own people.
Yep. You know what? You know what? That would be great for a very short amount of time because everybody would end up doing that same thing for all their audience, and we get deluged with stuff.
That's called an ad.
That's called me dropping. Well, you know what? That's why I pay premium for YouTube. I value the content enough that I will pay.
That's true, John. Good point, John.
That's what you get. Like Facebook, Facebook understands that if every post you get, they showed it to your 5,000 followers, then you would never run an ad.
You're right. Good point, John. Good point. Yep. Thank you. You're right.
That's good. But I'll still say if everybody paid for ads and we got forced to see everybody's stuff, people would be dropping left and right.
You know what? You remember boosted posts?
Yeah.
Don't you
remember when Facebook
they're still there?
Did that?
They're still there.
But they're not there.
They
like
don't work that well, right?
They're junk.
That's because we're already seeing too much damn content from everybody else that's on the damn network. So even if they're your followers, they're other people's followers, and we're getting all sorts of content thrown at us from everybody.
Bro, you're not seeing any more content. You can only
feels like it. I'm just saying.
It feels like
it. Feels
you can't
like
see any more content.
And then the stuff that I wouldn't mind seeing, you don't even get put in front of you most times. It's just the stuff that you really don't like.
It's crazy.
I don't get it. Their algorithms stink. I'm sorry.
I get stuff from groups that I'm not a part of a lot now. It's kind of weird.
That's true. They share the algorithm saying, "Hey, check this out."
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't want to check it out. Sorry. All right. Well, man, this went much longer than we were expecting, but it was a great conversation. Time for some parting thoughts. Ramon, say you.
Yeah, I would just say keep on going. To the small business owners out there, keep on going, adding value, building great relationships. Like actually, the five of us here have known each other for years, so keep building good relationships.
Even
this is Thanksgiving week, and I feel like Thanksgiving gets a short shrift. Take the time to be grateful. From a marketing perspective, now is a great time to reach out to those customers, make those phone calls, reconnect with your friends. Don't try to sell them anything. Just say you're thankful for them being in your life. Like I'm thankful for these folks here, and I'm thankful for everyone watching.
Leland.
You find the social media where your customers are, like one of our commenters said, and then engage. That's the biggest thing that I could say is, talk with your customers, comment back and forth, be there as a real person instead of just a company. Sometimes it is easy to just pop out stuff, and I do it too. I'm guilty of that. But actually talk and communicate and respond to comments, and you'll find success.
Mr. Lawson.
I'm just going to say, guys, success has many, many different definitions. But one of the things I think we all need to take a time and step back and look at having the ability to show up for the people that we love and that love us. And that is probably the greatest success you could ever have. And also, I don't know, guys, but are we doing a show next week on Black Friday?
We probably should. Do you want to? I mean, I'll be around, but it's all up to you guys.
I would love to do it. One thing I would love for you guys to do is everybody, since we're a business show, let's bring a Black Friday special that you think is cool or you like.
So it doesn't have to be your own. It could be something you found.
No, it shouldn't be your own, but something you find out there. Let's talk about Black Friday on Black Friday. That'd be kind of cool.
Okay.
All right, that's a good one. So I'll just say I did that BOI filing thing.
Oh yeah.
It was very straightforward, very easy, but I would just caution people, there are hucksters out there that are trying to get you to pay $149 to do it. I went right to that site and they walk you through it, and I didn't have to pay a dime. There's no charge for filing. Those folks try to charge you for filing on your behalf. Just be careful of that, because I almost got for that.
Good one. We should definitely want to talk about that too at some point before the deadline runs out.
Took all of 10 minutes, and apparently if you don't do it by January 1, 2025, they start charging like $500 a day or something like that.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. I wish I had the link, but
we'll bring it next week.
Bring it next week. We should talk about it every single week until the deadline.
All righty. So until next week, Black Friday, we're going to be here. Will you be here? Well, all of y'all, thank you so much for all the great comments, everybody. We appreciate it. And join us. And if you come with something you would like to share for Black Friday that you think is a good deal, please,
everybody.
Let us know.
Everybody bring one.
Matter of fact, I think we can all say, if you bring something, put in the comments. If we like it, we will bring you on and you can share it on camera with us. That would be really cool, because we would love to have all the Black Friday advice we can get. So until next week, we will see you then. Have a great weekend.